Get ready, we're gonna summarize 632 pages of a drama in just a little bit more than 10 minutes. With this, I hope that this story that is full of gods, of romance, of longing gets clear so that you're ready to read book 2. And this book has clearly two main parts. The first one is gonna be Sarah getting to know Ash and being in the mortal realm, and the second part is gonna be their adventures in the Shadowlands. So let's start with the first part. We will start this story with our girl Sarah. She is the last remaining of the Muriel bloodline. The deal was made a long time ago, promising the first daughter of the bloodline to the primal of death. And before getting there, just remember that in this land called Lasagna, they adore these divine beings, which can be categorized in two buckets. The first one, the most powerful ones, are the primals, which are limited, and the most powerful ones are the primal of life and the one of death. And then we have the gods. These gods serve under each of the different courts of the primals. But getting back to the original deal, Sarah was promised to be the consort of the primal of death. Reason why her mom, the queen, was never really fond of her, and she has become a warrior, trained her whole life by Sir Holland. In this land, there's a terrible rot consuming it, and this rot is started when Sarah was born. In their eyes, this rot is kind of like a signal of this deal that needs to be fulfilled. And so we will start with Sarah about to be delivered to the primal of death. But what happens shock everyone, because the primal of death will refuse Sarah. From that moment, we will do a little bit of a time jump, and we will kick off really our story 3 years after. And what we will see is that Sarah, now she's kind of like an assassin, but she holds no real power or relationship with her real family. We will see Tavius, who is her stepbrother, and he is supposedly the heir of the throne. But there we will have her stepsister Ezra, who is really sweet, and they do have a loving relationship. And we will start this adventure with the queen sending Sarah to kill someone. She does it because she is powerful, she is a warrior, but while doing so, she also sees that some gods are starting to kill innocent people and also a baby. This really shocks Sarah, and she's about to intervene when a mystery handsome figure called Ash stops her. It seems that Ash is also investigating these crimes, and she discovered that he is a god. Ash will try to prevent Sarah to investigate all of these because her life is just mortal, but time and time again they will keep seeing each other as she follows one of these evil gods, and she finds that this god has killed again. And what they see together when they get there is that there's this person that is coming back from the dead, and they together kill it. But then they just start figuring out that it's not just that they are killing innocent people, but that something weird is happening with them as well. This will bag a little bit Sarah, but she will come back to the palace where she will start to discover that Ezra, her sister, has a little bit of an adventure herself. It seems that she has been saving children, innocent people, from terrible situations, kind of like enrolls Sarah in one of her missions. And when she gets there, she kills a man, and she, like kind of storms off and goes into this wood, this forest, to, just relax a bit. In that forest, she will see an injured white wolf, and we will discover that Sarah is not just an incredible warrior, but that also she has this power to cure. She then goes into the lake, and surprise, surprise, she has this moment because Ash is also there. The two of them are naked. This moment, however, it's gonna be disrupted because these undead creatures will come and try to kill the both of them. They defeat these creatures, but Sarah will come back to the palace like,
"Phew, there's been a lot going on."
But more will happen, because in the following days, sweet little sister will come again searching for Sarah's help, because her childhood friend Marisol, it's been injured in one of these missions, and it's begging Sarah to help. The surprise here is that when Sarah arrives, Marisol is dead. She uses her gift nonetheless, and that's where we discover that she can also bring people back from the dead. This obviously drains Sarah, who has not been feeling well lately. She has been having these terrible headaches, but Sir Holland very kindly has created this tea, this potion, for her to be relieved of this pain. So she's drained because of her power, but also because of this deed. When the next day, Tavius just comes knocking at her door, saying like,
"Hello, sister, I am now the king, bow to me."
and she's like,
No way.
and as a result of that, she is kind of like accused of treason. And then we focus on this scene where Tavius is whipping Sera, and at that moment the primal of death makes an appearance. He stops Tavius, saying,
"You cannot touch what is mine."
and that's the moment of the first reveal where we learn that the god Ash is in reality the primal of death, Nyktos. In that moment, Sera, who is obviously a little bit agitated for all of this situation, goes and kills Tavius, and it's in that moment when Ash, Nyktos, the primal of death, decides to take Sera to Elysium, to the land of the gods. Different parts here. One of those where we will spend the majority of our time, it's the Shadowlands. This Shadowlands is also composed of 3 different parts. We will have the Abyss, which is kind of like the hell. Then we will have the Vale, which is paradise. And then we'll also have just the regular lands, the village. Once that we get there, we will get to know more about the lore, about the gods, and also about these beautiful creatures called Draken. Dragons that can also turn into humans. It seems that a long time ago, the primal of life was curious about the dragons. He wanted them to become more, to speak, and he ensured that they were able to turn into humans and talk, and that they can bond. And in here, we will get to see a lot of sweet scenes with Nektas, with Riva, and overall, this whole second part of the book felt a lot like family found vibes. Sera, however, it's kind of really pissed off about this reveal, and also she is concerned because although the deal was that she was to become the consort, she has been trained all of her life to become a warrior, to ensure that Nyktos falls in love with her, and then she will need to kill him for the rot to stop. They, though, get into these different situations where they have a lot of chemistry, they will have moments, but also he will start setting a lot of boundaries because she is still a human in his court and he has a lot of enemies, so he really wants her safe. But she will get a little bit jealous, and when one beautiful god comes to talk to Nyktos, she will run away to one of the places where she was forbidden to enter, which is the Red Woods. She will see this hawk that is also very injured, and she will cure it. What happens afterwards is that a creature will come back for her. In that moment, we will start to see that maybe she, using her powers, is attracting the wrong kind of attention. Nyktos can't save the day, but she is injured, she needs to rest, and there's going to be a lot of different chapters of them just going slowly but surely through the different elements of the court. We will get to see the different gods that live under him, the relationship of trust, of power that he has, and how it seems that a lot of different people is running away from the primal of life. It seems that a long time ago, the primal of life and death were twins, inseparable, and Nyktos' dad was in reality the primal of life. And it was Coles, this current primal of life, the one holding death power. Coles was a little bit sick of his brother gaining the attention, the love of the people, and he just being feared. And that situation got unsustainable when he fell in love with this beautiful woman called Sotoria. And we have known the story of Sotoria before because Sir Holland has numerous times told Sera that she is just as Sotoria, a warrior. Although her story it's a little bit weird because it seems that Coles, as the primal of death, fell in love instantly with Sotoria, but she was scared of him and accidentally died. At that moment, Coles begged his brother, the primal of life, Nyktos' dad, to bring Sotoria back to life, but he refused it, which started this war, and all of these eventually concluded with Coles becoming the primal of life and Nyktos' dad the former primal of death. And Coles now, with this power, the first thing that he does is bringing Sotoria back to life. life, but she is horrified by everything that has happened, and shortly after she dies again. Nyctos' dad realizes that his brother Colis will never stop bringing Sotoria back, disrupting the balance of the realms. He decides to mark her soul, ensuring that she is reborn, reincarnated every time that she dies, and that she never gets into the Shadowlands. The drama continues because Colis is not fine with it, and he will kill Nyctos' mom when pregnant. And I know this is a lot, Sera also agrees. And that's when we will get to see this woman called Gemma that was running away from Colis. And when she gets there, she tries to not use her power, but the dragon and the situation kind of like forces her to do so. And that creates a ripple effect that it's felt in the whole Elysium, which shortly after it's seen because they start to be attacked. They fight these creatures and they win. Although there are two main elements to extract from this section. The first one is that Nyctos is really injured, tired, and that he will need to feed soon. And the second one is that everyone will start to understand that the deal that was made with the Primal of Death, which was not Nyctos but his dad, was in reality trying to save this Ember of Life, this power from Colis. It seems that although Colis and Nyctos' dad changed places, this was just a temporary measure, and he hid the last ember that he had, which is now in Sera. Colis also had an Ember of Death. He is holding Nyctos' dad's soul with him, potentially torturing it. The land is corrupted because in reality they are now two primals of death, Nyctos and Colis, and no primal of life. And she then kind of like unveils that her mission was to kill Nyctos. They will still desire each other and everything, but no trust. He will, however, feed from her. They will have a hot scene where she will also take a little bit of blood from Nyctos, and she continues having these headaches. Nyctos starts to sum 1 + 1, and he discovers that what she is passing is the symptoms of the culling. This moment where the people that has ether, this magic in their blood, it's called to become something else. Later on, Sera will be faced with these terrible gods that were killing innocents in the mortal realm. It seems that, no surprise, they belong to the court of Colis. She is the element that they were seeking, the thing that these victors in the mortal realm will taking care of. She will start to think if in fact Sir Holland was a victor because the tea that he brewed for her for these headaches is not something that a mortal should know. But after Nyctos kills these gods, they will call upon the fates, asking for answers for all of these. And that's where the final twist happens. Sir Holland, it's not a victor, it's not a mortal, he is a fate. It seems that the ember that Sera has, it's a little bit more than just a tiny little fraction. Nyctos' dad not only placed in her the last remaining of his ember, but the ember that was also present in Nyctos. She has now the power of 2 primals, marking her as the first primal of life.
Chun chun chun.
But things won't stop here, because it seems that she is the soul reincarnated of Sotoria. It's not only the primal of life and the one that possesses the most danger to Colis, but it's also this marked soul that has lived time and time and time again. But things will go worse, because we close this story with a prophecy that talks about how Sera's destiny was always to die soon, and we will get to see a lot of reference to the From Blood and Ash series, but we also see that the only way in which Sera can remain alive is if Nyctos is the one feeding from her and giving her life. I hope it was useful and clear. Let me know down below if you're excited for book 2, and I really hope you enjoyed this.